Hi all, I've got a computer here, won't start up. When I turn it on I get nothing. So that usually means the power supply is bad. Usually a computer will start up, and if there's something wrong with the inside she'll beep. You get error codes, but now I don't get nothing, so that usually points to the power supply being bad. So I opened it up and I took the number off the power supply, went on eBay, ordered a power supply, it's the same exact number, so I knew I was getting the right one, and we're going to go ahead and install that. Every box you open is different. It's always a challenge, When you buy a computer, ask the salesman how do you open a box, or go online and search for your brand name and your model before it breaks, so you know how to open it. Sometimes it's real clear, and sometimes they're making them too slick now, and they're real hard to open. I'm on a wood table here, so that'll stop the static. Usually when you work on the inside you have to worry about static. Like if you're walking around on carpet you get static from your fingers. So you either put down a rubber mat or work on a wood table. They even have wristbands. You can put a wristband around, and the wristband's got a cord that attaches to the table that stops the static. So even that one little piece of static can short out the computer, so you really have to be careful with that. Okay, working on a box, a big box, is kind of easy because it's big. Doing this on a laptop is hard to work on those because they're small and compact. So here's the power supply. Hardest part is going to be keeping track of where all these wires go. Okay, so first thing here, let's check to make sure we got the right power supply. Okay, it looks to be about the same size, so it'll fit. Let's see what the wires look like here. One wire going to the motherboard here. This one, that's your main motherboard cord there. And then a couple power cords going to the hard drive and CD. And that should be about it. Okay. So what I always like to do before I take out a power supply is I take notes. Okay, so get a piece of paper and just write down where this stuff goes. So draw a box. Okay, that's the power supply, right? And then we got this one big cord here going to the motherboard. And then we got this small yellow one here going down to the motherboard here, right next to that little round silver thing. Okay, so that's those two. So let's go ahead and unclip those. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See, we got this one big cord here going right down to the motherboard here. That's that one. And then we got this cord going down to here. So that's black and yellow. So I'll write down black and yellow here. Black and yellow. And then this is the big plug. Okay, so these usually come off pretty easy. There's just like a little push pin on the back, so just push that in, pull it straight up. Okay, have to do it with two hands here. You see on the back here, there's this little push thing here. So I just pushed it and pulled it up with two hands, and it came right out of there. Okay, so the push pin went on the back side. Okay, so I'm going to make a note of that here. Push pins on the back side. This one here, kind of hard to get the fingers down in there. Came out pretty easy. Let's see, push pins also on the outside. So push pin was over here. I guess if you work on these things every day, you get the hang of what goes where. Okay, this one here goes to the hard drive. So this is a SATA plug. Okay, so the P3 SATA, so the words are up on top. So that going to the hard drive. And P3 and SATA on top. So there's that. So that should be everything but the DVD. Here's the DVD. That should just pull out here. Okay. And words are on the bottom. Okay. Words are on the bottom. So here we go here. DVD. Words on bottom. Okay, and that should be it for the cables. See, that's the wiring harness, they call it. Okay. So now all we have to do is take this thing out. Is we got 4 screws here on the back. Don't lose your screws. Don't use one of those magnetic trays because the magnetism can short out the computer. Don't buy tools, don't buy screwdrivers that are magnetic to go inside there, because that'll short it out. Sometimes when the power supply goes out, it's just a fan. And then after the fan's not running, the power supply will overheat. And sometimes it'll even overheat the whole computer, and motherboard will fry. So try to listen for your fan always running. There's some type of clip down here at the bottom, I think is holding it. There's a clip down here. It's that little push thing, so I'm going to have to push on that. Every computer you work on is going to be a little different, so after I push on that, it comes right up. it's a tight fit here. Okay, and those numbers that I got off here are just here. Model number, part number. So that's a match. I'm gonna mark this bad, so I don't lose track of which is which here. So let's see, make sure it's the same number. It's the same part number. Hopefully it'll work. Just to take a closer look at this harness here. These are really scary if you've never used these things before. So this comes out of the back here. So that's your main motherboard plug. And then I'm not sure what that is for. P2. And then these are just power supply plugs. They give you multiple power supplies in case you have multiple things inside your computer, you know, power, hard drive. You put 2 hard drives or 2 CD-ROMs, DVD players in, you know. So you always have plenty of those. Okay. So let's see if we can get this thing in here. Okay, it snapped back down in place. Screw holes are in the right spot. I'm hoping this is the problem and it's not just the little switch up front, but I figured I'd start here. I think I got this really cheap. It was like 10 bucks, 20 bucks, something like that. Jeez. Always keep your old screws, even if you don't need them. Just get an old peanut butter jar and save your screws. If you got to go online and buy screws, it's sometimes you pay a couple bucks just for screws. Like I've got a whole jar of old screws just for computers. Odd sizes. There's all different types of sizes. So. But I remember a day when I didn't even have 4 spares. I had to ask the teacher at school, see if he had any spares, and luckily he did. He had a bunch in his drawer. So. Okay, now we'll plug this thing back in. This goes into the motherboard, right? Okay, this little push thing goes on the back. Let's see if there's there's no indication. Oh, well, there's like a little ridge here in the back. So I guess that would be the indication that that little push pin goes on the back. Hopefully it's the right size. So, okay. Sometimes these are split up, but it's still just all one piece. Okay. Don't break the motherboard. Pushing it in. This one here, the clip goes on the outside. So that goes right down into this slot here. And then it doesn't really matter which power supply plugs you use, but it's nice to keep them separate. So here, I'm going to use the first one here, and let's see, the name was on top. See, there's a SATA plug. So SATA's up on top. See, now the plug's different here. Okay. Get rid of that. There wasn't really much to that one. You think it would snap on? Snap into place there. Let's see if it'll go this way. I don't have much experience with SATA plugs. It's new to me. It won't even go on like that, so. Okay. And then getting the one in the CD here is going to be tricky. DVD. My fingers can't get down in there. So the words are on the bottom, so it's going to go in this way like this. I should have put this on before I bolted down the power supply. Let's see if I can get that in there. Okay. Let me do this with two hands here. Okay, so that was in there. So that's all there is to it. If you've never seen the inside of a computer, power supply, hard drive, that's where you store everything. Your C colon. Here's your RAM. See, I only have space for 2 RAM sticks. Some computers you used to have 4. You could put up to 4 sticks. A fan, and fan on top of the CPU to keep it cool. The DVD. That big green thing here at the bottom, that's the motherboard. And there's a watch battery. And that's just a standard CR2032. You can buy them at Walmart, couple bucks. When you turn off your computer, that watch battery holds enough data on one of those little chips there that when you start up your computer, the computer remembers date, time, calendar, and some basic startup information. So sometimes when that battery goes bad, you'll get error messages on your screen. And when you turn on the computer, on the black screen, you'll see a bad battery error message. So that's what they're talking about there. If I would have planned ahead, I would have got a new one, and I'd pop in a new one now, but oh well. Okay, see, there's another fan here that helps keep the inside of the computer cool. Fan on here. You can add cards here. I got this one slot here, and we got 4 small slots. You know, so if you fill these slots up, you have to be aware of what kind of slots you have here. PCI, PCIe slots. Since we're here, so let's see if we can get the front off. I had this front off a couple weeks ago. I was playing with the switch. It was a real pain to get off and on. Let's see here. Okay, here I just had these 3 little clips here. These clips here. It came off. So this was the switch that I was talking about. This thing here. If it's not the power supply, I would go to this thing next. This thing here. Hopefully that's not the problem. I don't think those go out commonly. Most likely power supply. It's usually a real pain to get these things off and on. Once you learn how your computer works, then they're easy to get off and on. Or how to take them, how to get the cover off and things like that. So. And this one just has one screw here in the back. Usually there's 4 that hold it on. So each box is different though. I used to get recycled computers from the dump, and there were some that I couldn't figure out. I ended up breaking them just to try to get them open. So. Okay, I'll bring this in the other room and see if it starts up. Okay, so I looked out this time. She started up. So I guess it was the power supply. Let's see what's going on here. This monitor's going bad. Okay, it took a while to start up there. Let's see if I remember the password. It's been a while. Okay, I got it plugged into a different. Okay, cool. So we're back in business here. Okay, see ya. Here's a new thing I've never noticed. It seems like the new power supplies have lights on the back. I don't know why that would be. Who looks at the back of the computer, right? But I guess if the light goes out, that's how you know the power supply is bad. So. Okay, see ya.